Who wins in a fight? Monkey D. Luffy or the honored one, Gojo Satoru? Yeah, I know, this debate has been going on for way too long. Every time I scroll, it's the same thing. Luffy this, Gojo that. So today I'm putting an end to this. No bias, no agendas, just raw facts. So we've got Monkey D. Luffy, now awakened as Sun God Nika. A reality warping rubber man with cartoon logic, insane speed, ridiculous durability, and a fighting style that ignores physics for fun. And then we've got Gojo Satoru, the strongest sorcerer in Jujutsu Kaisen, a man who bends space itself and weaponizes infinity. Both these characters are broken, but in different ways. Luffy, especially in Gear 5, is basically a cheat code. Once he taps into Nika power, he starts ignoring conventional logic altogether. He can stretch and morph his body and surroundings like a living cartoon. And let's not forget about Future Sight. This man can literally see attacks before they even happen. Physically, Luffy clears the entire JJK verse. Speed-wise, he blitzes every single one of them. Strength-wise, he casually destroys mountains for fun. If you want to talk about durability, Luffy survived countless hits from Kaido. That alone is an impressive feat on its own. But Gojo isn't fighting fair either. He's rocking 3 abilities that are absolutely nightmares in any verse. He has Infinity, which is Gojo's bread and butter. It creates an infinite space between him and his opponent. Basically, you can try to hit him all you want, but your attack slows down infinitely and never lands. You are literally stuck in place. Then he has his domain expansion, Infinite Void, which traps you inside a domain that overloads your brain with infinite knowledge. Your senses shut down, you can't move, you can't think, you're done. Then Hollow Purple, a compressed mass of imaginary time and space that erases anything it touches. It erases matter on a conceptual level. Let's also assume for this video's sake that Hollow Purple really does erases everything. So who wins? Luffy is faster, stronger, and has better endurance. But none of this matters if he can't touch Gojo. Infinity stops everything before it hits. Gojo can casually walk through attacks like he's untouchable, which he technically is. Luffy has no clear counter for Infinity based on what we've seen in One Piece. And no, let's shut this down now. Luffy grabbing Infinity and turning it into rubber is not happening. We've seen Luffy grab lightning, sure, but lightning is a natural element. Infinity is a conceptual barrier, it's intangible. Based off the feat we've seen Luffy pull off with his low tier Toon Force, it's a huge stretch to say Luffy could just grab Infinity. I'm not saying it's impossible with Toon Force, but I don't think Luffy can pull that off just yet. But maybe later in the series, Luffy could eventually pull this off. Now, since Luffy can't harm Gojo and Luffy is too fast to get hit by Hollow Purple and too fast to get trapped by Gojo's domain expansion, because he could just use Future Sight to see Gojo is about to trap him in his domain and create enough distance between both of them. Here is a possible way Gojo could beat Luffy. Gojo could just slow Luffy down by attacking him randomly till he is exhausted. Gojo could just drop a Hollow Purple. Normally, Luffy could easily dodge this attack, but since he's exhausted, he won't be fast enough. And according to Google, Hollow Purple erases anything, which means he just needs to land one on Luffy's ass. Or he could just trap Luffy in his domain expansion. Either way, he beats Luffy. But what if we use verse equalization? Now here's where things shift massively in Luffy's favor. If we apply verse equalization, which basically means cursed energy is the same with Haki and cursed techniques are the same with Devil Fruit, then everything changes. In that context, Infinity is just another Devil Fruit. And what do we know about Devil Fruit? Haki beats Devil Fruit. That means Luffy's advanced Haki could bypass Infinity, just like how he punches Logia users who should be intangible. Once Infinity is nullified, Gojo loses his biggest advantage and now it's just a raw fight. And like I said, Luffy easily outclasses every single JJK characters in terms of physical strength, speed, power and durability. Gojo simply can't compete with Luffy once Infinity is gone. But without verse equalization, Gojo wins. He's basically untouchable, and Luffy has no consistent way around Infinity. And Gojo only needs Luffy to make one mistake to end the fight with Hollow Purple or his Infinite Void. But with verse equalization, Luffy wins. If Infinity can be bypassed by Haki, then Gojo becomes vulnerable and Luffy one-shots him. So who wins? It actually depends on the rules of the fight. If there is no verse equalization, Gojo wins easily. But if we have verse equalization, Luffy folds him badly. If you enjoyed this video, smash that like and subscribe button. And do you think Luffy could bypass Infinity with Gear 5? Drop your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next video. Peace.